Good afternoon. Here I am doing a 4-year sketchbook video. I've had this going for too long. I started it mid-2017 and I finished it. There are just like a couple pages at the end that were done in 2020. So that's what we've got today. I don't know how to do this. Usually at the beginnings of my sketchbooks, I will draw a self-portrait. So for a while, I would periodically just draw myself at the front of the book. So I had a couple sketchbooks where I did this layout where I made picture frames every time. As you can see, I never did the very last one. I was meaning to finish the sketchbook and I just started a new one instead. So there are a couple empty pages at the very end. So let's just get into it. There are a lot of unfinished drawings in the sketchbook. So right after I first started the sketchbook, I actually went to the SCAD Rising Star program that they do for juniors in high school. So this first project that we did in my Design 100 class was learning about shading using stippling and different types of hatching. So we took an image and we did that with the different sections of the image, and then we chose the best one, which I really wanted to do the bird feet. I thought that would have been so cool, but I don't know, my professor didn't like that one as much, I don't know, so I ended up doing the lips as a final for that class. That was a 6x6. So here that is. So the next project, we took a bunch of textures online and printed them and cut them apart into weird shapes, and then we glued them all together. We had to come up with the layout for the shapes first. And then put the textures in. So we did that, and then from that we used all of our stippling and hatching techniques to fully render out the texture swatches that we made. So our third project was about repetition and variety. So you can see the thumbnails for that, and I went with the mushrooms. For that project, we had to use a combination of hatching and stippling and watercolor. So I just used stippling. Oh, and we also had to use the complementary color palette. And then our final for that class was on perspective. So we got to just do something that had perspective and then use watercolor for that. These are just my used tissues and stuff from painting my projects for my design class. Okay, so at this point I'm back home from Rising Star and just doing random whatever. And here is the start of Inktober 2017. I used the prompts from Craig Gleason. So I did Season of the Bad Guys Club. So I used his prompts. I recognize that I am a big waster of space in sketchbooks. Especially just used to. I would leave a lot of blank space. Because I don't know, once you put one thing on a page, that's it. Start on a new page. I don't know. I've gotten better about it, I think. But yeah. Also just because I used markers and so those would bleed through the paper, but yeah, I would pretty much just one thing per paper. are just random business card designs that never amounted to anything. So also at this point, I am at community college taking one of their basic art classes. And then also through my high school, we had a guest come in. Actually, it was Charlie Brower, who I worked with on my Wooden Lotus, which you can see on my blog page under the Works in Progress section of the blog. So he came in for a couple weeks and did he did like one class a week for a while. So some of these are from his class, a lot of like gesture drawing type stuff. He had us do several really interesting assignments, like this one with the squiggle lines, where we had to color it in with different patterns and stuff. And he had us doing like landscape gestural stuff. He just wanted us to like learn to draw fast. And then with this one, we were using stencils that he had made and different like objects, like obviously a fork and a hammer and stuff. This is just cut out of black paper with an X-Acto knife. There's a lot of random weird stuff in this sketchbook. So these are just some old business cards that I made just like with watercolor paper, and then I just wrote my own information on it. So for this next page, something that I like doing is taking off my address from like letters and stuff that I get, just because I don't know, I started doing it because I really liked other people's handwriting. So it kind of just turned into a thing where I would just take mail that I had gotten and rip off my address and put it in my sketchbook. So I've blurred this image so that you couldn't like come to my old house or something. Oh yeah, and I just took the front off of candy cigarette boxes for no reason. Well, I had a collection for a while, and then I was like, I need to get rid of these, but I didn't want to, so I don't know, I cut them apart. Alright, so at this point, I have now started my freshman year at SCAD. Woohoo! So these were the sketches for our first assignment, which was just drawing of some part of the building, like that was pretty zoomed in so that we could see detail and stuff. So here's that final. And here we are at Inktober 2018. Woohoo! So for this year, I wasn't really following any prompts. I think I was just sort of doing whatever I wanted each day. I was just doing whatever I felt like. I did not finish 2017 Inktober, and I did not finish 2018 Inktober. I did actually manage to basically finish 2019 Inktober, and then 2020 Inktober again was kind of a flop. But you know, I like trying and I like getting as far as I can. Oh, a fun thing also, so for these pages, I was using Inktober. It kind of just happened into this that I started doing this, but I was in color theory class, and so our final in that class was to take, we could do whatever we wanted, but we had to do something in each of the different main color groups, so like complementary color palette, triadic color palette, split complementary color palette, all those types of things. So I decided to design a character and have each character have their own color palette thing going on. So like monochromatic, saturated, desaturated. So here are some of the finals for that.
Oh, this is a fun one. So I was in 3D design class, and so one of our projects was that we had to pick, I think we had to pick our spirit animal, or maybe it could have just been any animal, I can't remember. The possum is my spirit animal, if you were wondering. But we had to make it out of wire, and then we had to apply, I think we had to apply planar material. We had to use something else other than wire to like add on to it. Oof, okay, this assignment, so this was also for 3D design class. We had to take a sound and make the sound physical out of cardboard and like nails and screws and stuff like that. I ended up going with the subway train sound.
And then this was a piece of wearable art for that class.
And then the final for this class, I had so much fun on this project. We had to combine a natural thing with a man-made thing. And so I chose snake train. We used clay and made our animal thing and painted it. And I really like how mine turned out because I made like separate train cars. And then also for this assignment, she had us make Twitter accounts as our character. So like I had to tweet as if I was a snake train. I'll link that Twitter account down in the description. So this was my final for my psychology class. It was the psychology of creative thinking or something like that. And so for our last assignment, we had to make puppets of our inner creative and our inner critic. So she had us do this meditation exercise where we like went inside of our head and we like came across like our inner artist and our inner critic, and then we had to make puppets, and we could have made puppets out of, socks or paper on popsicle sticks. And I was just so pumped from the snake train assignment that I just wanted to make them out of clay. I didn't really design these. This was literally how they came about in my head when I was doing this meditation technique. So like, I don't know.
And here we are finally at the last few pages that are in 2020.
These cloud guys are actually a print that I carved out, and I've been wanting to like get prints of these up in my shop, but I am having a lot of trouble getting a good print made. I just need a lot more practice with that.
And again, just a lot of unfinished drawings in this sketchbook. Here we are. This is the last page. And then, there are a couple pages I just didn't do it. I just didn't do it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Bye-bye.